When you tune into Between Two Phones, you get the raw and unfiltered version of John and Eric here. We are excited that you've joined us, everyone. And it's interesting because we've got this really nice high production set that you and I
High quality.
are teleported into on a regular basis that we get to do this virtually. Eric is not close enough that I could pat him on the back, but you know what? We can pretend to. And I would say that when I look at these two crusty old things on the desk, not you and I, but the two crusty old things next to us, the two phones here, it brings it makes me wonder, how can two guys be doing a tech podcast show here with such antiquated things.
But I mean, you know something? They're out there in the world. This technology is still
Pulse
here.
dialing and rotary dialing, which
So and there's people who still rely on there's customers who still rely on those types of things
I
for
don't
their
know. Do they?
customer
I
service.
gotta wonder. Like, if you have a customer who is still using pulse or rotary dial, comment in the section below. There'll be no comments down there. There'll be no
No,
nobody
no.
nobody nobody is possibly still using rotary. But you educated me yesterday that some of the ATAs that are out there floating around still do support it, and so
Yes.
therefore, ergo, Zoom
Oh, still
Phone.
supported. Yeah, it'll work. So ATA for the layman is analog telephony adapter, and it's a
Analog
device that
telephony adapter.
we
Yeah.
allow traditional phones like that you would have in your home to work with SIP, which is session initiated protocol, which is how
Look
Zoom.
at you defining all the acronyms. You are
Oh, I hate
Mr. Acronym today. So speaking of our wonderful set here, you see the lovely fence. I've actually had to mend the fence. I've put up a graphic here. The mended fence of my son plays baseball. Every once in a while, there's an errant throw, a wild pitch, and when we're playing catch in
I
the
mean,
backyard,
based on that
oh,
picture, the boy's got an arm. What you growing about in there?
yeah, he's got an arm, but his dad doesn't do a real good job of reaching up and catching it. As you can see, my hand just cuts off when it gets to the top of the
Just goes
fence.
away. I,
so,
and I don't think
so
John Nelms has ever been overly accused of having great reach.
I don't know. I mean,
Wingspan.
I never played basketball. I never played basketball. So, but I tell you what, mending the fence and making sure that customers are happy. The two seem to tie in
They
quite well
do. They do.
together, right?
So, I mean, just like a fence, right? You don't build a fence once and forget it. You have to go back and maintain that fence. Otherwise, it gets old, it gets warped, and it's no longer going to be good. Just like that, we need to keep a constant maintenance on our customers' relationships, not just Zoom customers, right? And a lot of the people listening here are going to be partners because that's who we deal with mainly. But so this is not just our partners, right? We want a good relationship. It's not just their customers, right? That's a tertiary level customer relation. It's actually a fourth level. It's their customers. So our
Our
customers,
customer.
yes. And we used to refer to this as closing the back door. And what that meant is you would spend all this time and money getting a customer, right? You go out, you have good sales cycles, you got pitch decks, you got all this good stuff. You build this pretty fence. Well, great. You got them in there, but you didn't maintain the customer. You didn't keep them as a happy customer. So what happened? They left out the
So
back door.
how do we capitalize on that? So
We call it, so Zoom calls it the Zoom customer experience.
yes,
And I kind of like that
ZCX. I'm going to
term.
use acronyms today. I'm just going to speak in
All right,
acronyms with
it's
you.
okay.
Your
That's all
favorite.
right. I still love you. So the reason why I prefer the term experience, it used to be a call center,
Yep.
right? And it was a couple of things that were weird about that,
Then it
right?
was a contact center, right?
Yep.
Call center,
Well, we
contact center.
changed it from call center to contact center when we went out of just phone calls in different modalities. So we have video, we have SMS, we have web chat, all these different things. But now we call it experience, and it's an important distinction. Why? Center, you think data center, you think data, you think big data, and that's all important. We utilize that. But by making it an experience, what we want to talk about is what does the customer go through? How do they interact?
So
Are you continuing to make them
yeah,
happy and have a good experience?
when you think about that, what do you think of when you think of the modalities of what Zoom's contact center can support? We've
Yep.
talked about that here on the podcast in the past: voice, video, chat, SMS,
And now email.
and email. But I want to focus on two areas there. One is we've come full circle because we all used to well, really no one alive in this generation probably used to use telegraph. but that was the most primitive form of texting. Maybe the most primitive form was actually sending a letter. Pony Express. So we've gone text. It was text. It was tap 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 text, and then
Abbreviated text,
abbreviated text.
which
If you go way back, let's go think before. Let's go 3,000 years ago.
it
I
was
don't know.
emojis.
Yeah, sorry, hieroglyphs,
Oh yeah,
emojis,
you call
and
them
now we're
hieroglyphs,
back
but
to
they were
emojis. So
emojis.
we've made this full circle, right?
Yes.
We've gone text or hieroglyph text, uh,
Mail.
abbreviations, voice. We did video, and now back to text again. So here
Yeah.
we are, full circle. Because a lot of people choose to communicate that way, and I want to bring up the first point I'm making is a lot of people choose to use this, and that this is a brand new iPhone 15 Pro Max. I know you are a huge fanboy of Apple. Eric just can't get enough of the Apple.
Oh, I can. I just gobble it up. Just man, what do you
But
want?
but regardless of what device you choose, a lot of people choose to text, and the Zoom customer experience is all about that now, right? You can
Yes.
do it in the most primitive of ways is obviously picking it up and sending a text, and you can do that with Zoom CX. But the other thing that I really want to focus on, and this is maybe the how we what we talk about for the remainder of the call, is the ability now to circumvent what could be perceived as misinformation. Have you ever been connected with a contact center agent? Have you ever called somebody, called a help desk, called customer service, called someone, and you just don't get a very good level of confidence from that person? Like,
Trust,
I don't know if
trust,
you're really
trust,
helping
trust,
me.
trust.
Yeah, you think they may be helping, but they're
You
probably
actually look
not.
at, and I've done this, right? I look at the number I'm interacting with, and I will do a separate search online
Yeah,
to
you do.
validate that
Yeah,
number.
figure out who the heck you're talking to. Yeah, I don't always trust the other human, or they're just having a bad day, and you know it, right?
And,
They're like,
and a lot of it is because we live in a world where fraudulent activities happen. And if you're not cautious, you will be circum. So
yeah,
one of the cool things that Zoom does to kind of help this is we go from that high touch, right? Many uh, um, interactions, that messaging relationship,
yeah,
but they can upgrade that to voice if they want to, and all the way to video. Look at
yeah.
that, like right over
So
your
you can
shoulder.
actually see the agent that you're speaking with live one to one, and you think
And I mean,
about
once I do that, then I have a level of, then you know what I'm talking about. You see it here, you see the
when you
expression.
get to see Eric's touched up face there. It looks like it's touched up today. Like you've got the touch
I'm
up
not
filter
saying
on.
I wear makeup. I'm not. I'm not saying I wear makeup.
So all right, so that's one way that we can certainly mitigate the maybe the trust or enhance the trust factor, I should
Yeah.
say.
But
But
how does that go? So, John, how does that help maintaining that customer relationship?
for me, like I think I would be more apt to interact with a customer service organization or any organization. We'll just say I would be much more apt to interact with a company that does business my way, that communicates the way I feel the most comfortable and the most trusted.
In
And
whatever form that might take.
it may be self-help options in their voice queue. It may be a self-service web portal that I can go to. It may be within that web portal. It may be some virtual agent chat. And a lot of these things that we're moving to, I think of my insurance, for example. It's primarily AI now.
Yes.
It's me. interacting with a computer, which has a very rich knowledge base of everything that I would potentially, as a customer, I would need to know. It knows how long I've been a customer. It knows how much I'm paying. It knows how many claims, my insurance knows how many claims I've had. And a lot of times, like, I'll call the agent, and the agent's like, oh, let me look through your history. I only see the last, like, 2 years
Oh, I
here.
don't see
Let
that
me
you've
let me
called
look at this other
before.
computer. Oh, my computer's not working right today. Like, that's the type
So,
of
and I
dialogue I
think you
have.
address two big areas there that I think are huge for maintaining customer satisfaction,
Yeah.
relationships. One is I want them to know things. And if I have if
You
I
want them to
interact,
know. You want them to be knowledge based.
I do, and be able to use that knowledge in an effective way. So that's where a
And
bot,
AI can, right?
if it's set up correctly,
AI is only
can.
as good. Here's the conversation we used to have. A lot of folks listening used to be bellheads. We used to always have, as we moved to voice over IP and IP, the IP world, we were only good as the network we were writing on. We could not defy the laws of physics. Your knowledge base and your AI is only as good as the data that you're feeding it. And so a lot of people have to understand that we go back to these fences back here. If you don't maintain your fence will fall over.
And with
If
AI, that means training and coaching
Yeah,
constantly. It is not, it is a product and a solution you as administrators continue to maintain. It is not a fire and forget. It's not like the old PBXs that sat in a closet above a mop sink and you just went in and
the,
wired it. And then once a year, when somebody moved offices, you had to go and change. No, that is not the case. You maintain this product because the other thing you need, aside from access to that knowledge, access to that good data, that rich data, you need to have the tools in place for it to use the data.
and Zoom's AI can certainly help with that process as well. I think making that accessibility easy
Yep.
is a key to making sure that not only you as the maintainer are happy, but also your customer and your customer's customer. That's the important part.
Absolutely.
If you have more questions, hey, reach out to me and my between two phones partner here. Give him a pat on the back, virtual pat, Eric.
Here, let's do
Well,
the high five.
here we go,
Ready?
virtual high five. Oh
Other way.
no, oh no, that was a bad miss. There we go. Oh no, we defy the laws of physics right there. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Adios.